good? What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetically Black. Never. Ooh, Brittany, we're like almost 2 years in.
Yeah, it's been
never broken, always empowered. I am Brittany, joined by my co-hosts this evening, Jamal and Ty. What's good?
Yo.
And we are being joined by our guest, Jay Anthony. How are you? How you feeling?
Hello. Blessed. I'm feeling blessed. Hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's having a good evening.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty good day over here. No real complaints. If you wanna kick it off, because my life has been chilling.
You got
like my personal life, aside from like anything happening with him, I've been cool.
Yeah. So personally, give me a second. My bad. Y'all don't. I send out the video to everywhere else that it isn't. So if you ever not see me paying attention in the beginning, that's what happens. So yeah, my week has been great. So unfortunately, my grandpa passed. Shout out to the G, but he put me in his life insurance. So I got a check today, about 14 stat. That's 1,400.
Yeah, it's like not 14 stat.
Whoa, man.
Let me start my location off.
But not pull up on me. It was 1,400, not 14,000.
Hey, you can get up with the count Sesame Street, dog.
Yeah.
Brady was like, cat.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself, but it's nice. So I deposited today. I'm trying to give myself a new switch. My old one's broke because my fat ass was eating pepperoni pizza and I dropped the pepperoni in it. So yeah.
How's that possible?
Do you not just hook it up to the TV? Like a controller?
He went to switch out the game, and I guess there was a piece of pepperoni on his finger, so it got jammed in somehow.
I was excited because I was playing Pokemon against one of my friends. I had been waiting to play him.
So you was just this cartridge and this pepperoni, same thing.
We had playing collectively playing to do this. We playing both to get pizza. We playing to fight while we watching wrestling. It's 8:00. So it's a whole vibe. It's a move. And then I dropped pepperoni in it. So it sucked. So yeah, I've been without my Switch for a while. Couldn't play no cartridges, and now I'm gonna buy me a new one.
My condolences, by the way.
Basically, before the Cody Rhodes told them shout out to Cody. I did watch the Royal Rumble.
Yo, I knew he was coming back at the Rumble. I
announced
wasn't handed to him though.
That Rumble
kind of put him in the storyline with Roman anyway.
That storyline, especially the ending with Sami Zayn.
Oh, it broke my heart.
The
when he hit him in the back, it reminded me of the Shield, and I was like, oh no, now Jay gonna whoop his ass, and then Jimmy came in with the kick.
Yeah. I will say,
running.
Triple H, since running the show,
top tier.
I could have done for a little more surprises in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
but
especially because, and this isn't even, we're not even supposed to be talking about wrestling, but especially because last night there were two whole ass Carmella came back.
Where were you?
Listen, I was hoping Naomi came back. I was rooting.
Me too. Fingers crossed.
I don't know, because I don't know if she's coming back at all. Because Sasha Banks has already come back, right? But what have you haven't heard nothing about Naomi? She's just been radio silent.
That thing she posted, she said, an hour before the Royal Rumble started, she was like, I love you guys so much, and posted a heart. So at that point, niggas knew she wasn't coming back. But I hope she does. She still she still has a long way to go as in to do more. But also she's kind of I think she's 34 now. She's at the age where she may have 1 or 2 more years before she starts having kids.
Yeah.
Hey man. Natty's 41.
But Natty doesn't want
Natty
kids.
Don't want kids.
That's never been a goal in her life.
That's fair.
Let's keep it 100.
Also, Natty needs to get out the ring.
They don't want kids. John Cena was one. Natty was one. And if you
don't do Natty like that.
You John Cena, you can't not do head to Natty.
Don't do the boat like that.
No, Natty needed it out.
But anywho, let's get on topic.
So yeah, like I was saying, I've been having a good week.
We're just gonna start off wide and to the left.
Straight off to the left. Every time me and Ty together. But yeah, I quit my job and I told them I think I deserve better than this. Bet on myself. And then this other job I had applied for came through. It was You do deserve better than this. How's $19 an hour plus benefits sound? And I said, it sounds great, dog. They said,
but I'm mad at you because I can't get cookies, so you ruined it for me. How dare you?
I know, right?
Dog, I still got the connect. All right.
Okay.
I was going to say we were freezing.
You want some M&M's cookies? I got you on the M&M cookies, my brother.
Our fucking freezer shelf is leaning like a fat bitch in heels. Okay, that joint is struggling. But anywho, Pi, how's your weekend?
It's been all right. I picked up another shift at my job, doing something a little bit more behind the scenes so I can learn a little bit more about the industry because I'm coming up on my 1 year and I'm like, well, it's time I start learning a little bit more and seeing how the rest of this business works. So, no, I had a pretty good week too. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Always glad to see the people winning.
Yeah. So let's try to slide back on the topic, right?
Bring it back down.
Bring it back down. So this episode, right? You know, now we gotta talk about our feelings and shit.
Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to be here. Never mind. My bad. I'm out.
We log out.
I'm the funny one.
Right.
Nah, you Rich the Third today.
So right, because Shay already.
Yeah, because
RJ
Jr.
Rich Light.
Rich with manners.
How can I be light? I'm bigger than him.
But so this episode is about absentee parents in the Black community. And last season we did do an episode on absentee fathers, but I wanted to talk more from a generic perspective and not like a let's hate on Black men or men in general kind of perspective.
So you want us to hit a woman bash?
No.
Are we the she-man woman haters right now?
I hate that.
That's good.
But anyways, so I think we should just kind of start off by let's just start off by talking about our personal experiences and kind of start off a little differently. We usually jump right into why do you think this is? But let's talk a bit about your personal experience growing up. Which parent was in the household? What are some of the underlying causes in your home? Whoever would like to pick
I mean, I'll go first. I don't mind. So for me, primarily, I had my mom in the house, but that doesn't mean my mom was primarily in the house. Because up until right after my brother was born, her whole thing was she's out partying and drinking and doing this and dumping me off on whoever and that sort of thing. So I've experienced both parents not being in the house and even being taken out of the house entirely because there's just no one there for me. So that was that's how I came up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ever taken out of the house, but there were times where I definitely didn't live with Monica. So I lived with the woman who I referred to as my mother for a while, but now I just refer to as Monica because mother's an earned title. You can't just birth someone and think you earn this. I earn the right to be your parent. No, you have to earn that from your child. You have to earn that trust mutually because your child has to trust you. If they don't, then they gonna show it. You try telling your kid jump in the pool and they don't. That's a real trust issues there. You tell your kid to do something and they don't. It's trust. It's not that they don't understand or respect you. They don't trust your interest, so they're gonna do what's best for them. And a lot of times it's not the case, but sometimes it is. And for me, I can't trust her. So Monica was never really there, much like Ty. I got dumped off with whoever. I was spending a lot of time with my cousins. There were 5 of us. We were told as kids, y'all can take care of each other. So we were latchkey kids. We go to school, come home, and no one would be there. We'd have to essentially take care of ourselves. That's where I discovered anime and everything else. After school was lit. There was no one there to tell me you can't go outside and play after you eat noodles and Gushers for lunch. What you gonna say? You ain't here. I'm gonna watch Batman and go outside. And as long as I'm back before you back, then I'm good. So that was my experience. Like, I was very much the little black kid eating the lunch off of the ice cream truck, and like going to the neighborhood store, like buying my food out of there. Like, my dinner a lot of times was whatever the hostess treats I can get my hands on was. Shit, them nights with them honey buns and the soda, that was lit. But it's my experience.
There's such like a somber humor to that. Like, it's like, damn, you probably shouldn't have been eating that. Like, that's unfortunate. But I know
I didn't make it.
That sounds healthy. That's part of a complete dinner.
It's a balanced diet.
I would eat that now, honestly.
That's the best.
Now I'm like, nah, bro, I don't even like honey buns no more.
No, they don't taste as good. They don't taste as good.
That is so true, though. A lot of the snacks growing up taste fucking awful as you get older. I'm like, why does this shit tasting like this?
Yeah.
I don't think it did, though. I feel like they've changed the recipes.
No, they definitely have. Do you guys remember what Doritos used to taste like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they used to taste way different than they do now. I remember as a kid when they changed it, I was like, this is awful. Why did anyone like this?
Yeah.
I feel that. But Jay, how about you? If you'd like to go ahead.
So I had a different upbringing. So when I was younger, my mom passed when I was 12, and my quote unquote dad, both in the same year. So my sister pretty much raised me. My mom, she did like a lot of drugs. She's like very alcohol oriented. So I spent a lot of time like by myself in the house when I was like 8 or 9. Obviously it sucked. I met friends, and it's funny because with my friends I met out, I would always go to their house every day. Like, there was times where like my mom wouldn't even know where I was at for like 2 days, but I always come home like, hey, I'm here, stuff like that. So I remember one particular time, like I was just so hungry and like I wanted to play, and like I would like always go to their house and I would like watch them eat. Like outside the window, sit there and wait for them to come out to play. And it just sucked. It sucked really, really badly. Just because I'm like, damn, like, why is this like this? And as a kid, you don't really understand what's going on. You kind of just like, okay, well, maybe this is life. I ended up getting adopted into that family, actually. The mother ended up taking me in and filing custody of me. So that lasted about 2 years until shit went down. I ended up being raped by 3 other kids. And so I ended up, I finally told like the school system and stuff like all this shit that happened. And I ended up, I can't do this anymore. So I ended up pretty much just like ended up leaving. I ended up living back with my sister. I moved with my sister, my blood sister, and things were good. Things were good. Life was happening. And my mom ended up passing away. So that hit me hard because, as a mother, you still love her and stuff like that. But I think a lot of it is she got into drugs and stuff, and she got into like a lot of alcohol and stuff because my brother, he passed away when he was 8. He drowned. So I think that would cause her to spiral and just kind of just like, I wouldn't know what it would be like as a child. So as a parent, it must obviously suck. They always say like, the kid should bury the parent the other way around. So that happened, and I just became like very like bad. Like I was like not a bad child. I did dumb shit. Like I would like always go out and I pretty much didn't give a fuck. I remember one time I was so bad at my sister for some stupid shit. I literally ate all the food at her house. Like dumb shit. I remember I ate a whole.
That's petty as hell. That's petty as hell.
Everything.
Man, you pissed me off. These are my cupcakes.
Listen,
Now, mother.
Fifth grade, I ate a whole box of Gushers. I ate a whole box of chicken nuggets. I poured all the milk down the drain. I did all this shit like in one day.
Yes.
I got my ass beat, obviously. So I think after that day, she's a single mom at the time, so she just like, I can't do this. I don't blame her. So I ended up living with my my stepdad, which I call him my dad. He was there for me. Lived with him for about a week. Then he died in front of me. So I was just like, well, shit. Like, what do you do? And so I ended up pretty much, I moved around a lot. A lot of trauma, but I think that made me who I am today. Still pushing. So I've had a rough life. I move a lot. So.
Well, Michelle said it, but I'll say it as well. Thank you for sharing your truth and opening up. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So for me, a lot different. I was raised by my mother. I'm a child of divorce. So my dad, it's not that he was not in my life, but I didn't grow up with him in our household. I was with him every other weekend, usually. But in our home, it was preference, really. So my sister she was the tomboy. And so he preferred her. So he would go to all of her basketball games and support her and her extracurricular activities. And he wouldn't show up to like my drama club stuff, things that like I did. So, the absenteeism in my household was more of an emotional, lack of connection rather than the actual physical. But my mother, she held it down. She passed recently, like in 2020, but childhood-wise, she held it down. So my experience isn't really... I'm not going to downplay it because divorce and emotional absenteeism is still, a form of, I don't want to say neglect because divorce happens, but it still affects the child and your view of relationships. Before we move on, just to highlight what Michelle said, she said, technically both of my parents were in the home, but my mom was essentially a single married mother. Dad didn't want anything to do with me. I'm thankful for my grandparents on both sides because the home was toxic. So, which kind of leads me to my first question, which is like, what do you guys believe? And I think we all kind of have different types of absenteeism that we've experienced. But what are some of the other kinds that we may not have spoken of that people may be experiencing in their homes?
So, for me, for example, it was a mother who just didn't want kids and they kind of happened to her too fast. Like, she just kept having kids. So, I'm number 2 out of 5. Come to find out, I'm actually number 3 out of like 7. So, one of them was aborted before my oldest brother. My older brother is 3 years older than me.
He's my age.
Yeah, so
you really took a deep breath like he was old.
No, that's because he's calling you old. Don't get
right.
It's his birthday today, so I no longer speak to him either for like different reasons, but it's because we grew up and we had a tough life trying to grow up and not have a dad there. Like there was no one to parent us, and we had 2 egos running wild thinking I run this shit, no I run this shit. And it's like you can't have 2 alphas in the house tearing each other apart and no one to tell you that they're wrong. So as 2 teenage boys are both in the house throwing each other around the house, we went from WWE to UFC real quick, and you weren't there. And I'm not a small guy, but neither is he. So we're breaking the wall. We're throwing shit, and she's off getting drunk. She's partying. She's wanting to chase that youthful enthusiasm she had. She wants to run the streets, and she want to party, and she wants to not have the responsibility. So it's it's hard to be sympathetic to somebody who's trying to live the life that she wants while holding you back. So I essentially had to raise my siblings by like being there. I had to leave from opportunities I had. I couldn't go to get a school job. I get a job after school, do anything. I had to be there to babysit. I had to get them after school. I had to like cook for them while you're off shaking your ass, while you off on a date, while you off doing this. And it's like, nigga, this ain't fair. I still got homework and shit to do. Like I got science projects to turn in, and you trying to tell me put the kids in the bed. Like this don't go that way. Yeah. But you know, still made out of honor roll.
Michelle had mentioned financial absenteeism. I'm gonna struggle today.
Financial
absenteeism. I keep wanting to put an N in there.
One parent moving mountains to make things happen, and the other does nothing. But because you live together, they get credit, and it's true because like. Just because someone's not providing the finances doesn't mean like they don't do the shit.
Well, I think what she's saying is you see one parent working their ass off and the other one's a bum. Mm-hmm. And they're just along for the ride. So one parent is doing everything.
From Hey Arnold?
Yeah, right.
That just sat there and watched his girlfriend do everything.
Like one parent's doing everything to provide a life for their child, and they see the other parent not doing anything. And that's not to speak on like, you know, stay-at-home moms and stay-at-home dads, because they're still doing the work of keeping up the household. But I think we all know.
Nah, some dads be bums. Call them bums.
I was gonna say, yeah. I think we all know
it's a deadbeat dad stereotype for a reason, because some dads do be deadbeats. Like. Some of them don't do anything. They'll allow their woman to go to work all day, make all the money, and then come back. And it's like, well, what'd you do with all your money? I gambled it away. I spent it. I did this. I didn't care. What family? Like, y'all don't mean shit to me.
Or not not his money, your money. Like,
or to like, you know, like the ones who do stay at home, you know, they'll come home and the house is like shit. It's like, so if I'm out there busting my ass all day and the house is like shit, it's like, what are you doing? Like, what do you know, at least clean, cook something, do something productive. What's for a job?
Like, cook me a good ass meal.
Yeah, and that's like, you know, like sexist, like not sexist. What am I trying to say? Why can't I speak? But, you know, like not putting a sex to it. That's like whoever is at home needs to be
pulling their weight.
Right.
Yeah.
As for a while, Brittany was like the main breadwinner. Like Brittany still makes more money than me as a whole because like the nature of her job. However, I don't mind cooking. Like if it means that I have to clean, I do whatever I need to because like that's the way our house works. In our house, we don't believe in like this is a woman's job or this is a man's job. No, that's a job that needs to get done.
Exactly.
Like, except trash. I take out trash.
Yeah, I don't do trash.
Bro. It's no different nowhere else, I promise you.
I mean, shit, I wouldn't too if you live like 20 stairs and shit like you're talking about.
So many. 35, as a matter of fact. 5, 6, 7.
Just once, I want to be the one on the porch watching the monkey run to bring the trash out and just be like, yep, this is how I feel every time.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Now, if y'all do DoorDash, this shit must be crazy.
Yo, I live in the hood. DoorDash, they don't even come up to the door. They just throw it from their car and keep going.
Oh, no, I Amazon my juice, my brother. It's coming tomorrow morning.
So Charles said, my biological parents being absent in my life is the reason why I'm so active in my kids' life.
No, see, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that because so for me, I got raised by a lot of other people, right? Like my like I said, my mom wasn't part of it. I met my dad twice, I think, maybe. So I feel that now with my kids, where it's like, let me find something to do with them, and believe it or not, I don't get. That's why I could never think about how people wouldn't want anything to do with their kids. My kids are so cool. Why wouldn't you want something to do with yours? You know what I mean? I don't know. I love being part of their lives. I'm sure you guys love being part of your kids' lives, right?
Dog,
I don't have kids, but I was.
That's why I didn't say nothing. That's why I didn't say nothing.
No. Okay, so I did date the one who had kids, so I was like the stepfather. So I love kids. I think kids are a blessing in disguise, and they come to you when you need them the most.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't mind getting up and like help them, stuff like that. So like, you know, will I have my own now? I'm not sure. I'm almost 30. I do want to adopt. I think adoption is the best thing to take a child out of the foster system and give them a life the best I think I possibly can have.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So
yeah. And I mean, I agree. Like Jamal said, I think, well, and like Ty said, that being like breaking down those generational curses. So the episode that we didn't have last week, like we were supposed to have last week, that would tie perfectly into this, breaking down some of those generational curses and not, you know, holding over our child that I gave birth to you, so you owe me something, or, you know, all of that like kind of mindset. Carlos said kids.
No.
Don't feed them at the 10 either.
Like focusing on raising our children in a very holistic way is really what we're trying to do. Like so that they're emotionally intelligent, so that they are in touch with all of that. Like we have sons and we encourage them, like, if you sad, cry. Let's figure out what's like, going on. Let's talk about it.
And they're like, I'm like, are you sad because you think you're gonna get in trouble, or are you sad because you're sad? Because there's a difference. Like, don't cry because you think this is gonna stop you from getting in trouble.
Right.
That's just gonna give you a headache because you're not about to get whooped. But we're gonna have this conversation, and you can tell me what you're feeling, and like giving them that space that allows them to think out how they feel and they talk out how they feel, instead of just, I'm angry and I don't know why I'm angry. Well, why are you angry? Like, what's gotten you so mad, son?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I think because we live in, we live in an apartment and we're in our kids' faces all the time. And
right up in these faces.
they don't get privacy. So
no, you don't get the option to like tell me, get out of my face. Nah, you get the option to say what you're feeling.
Yeah. So I think that's one of like the main ways you see that manifesting in our parenting style, is we don't give them that. I'm not saying we don't give them privacy. We don't give them that space though. We are in their face. We're playing with them. Like, I know that. So my mom was my best friend. And when she passed, I realized I didn't even know my father's favorite color. Like, I didn't know anything about him as a man, right? Like as a human separate of being my father. And I don't want that for my kids. Like they clearly respect us, but I want them to also know who we are.
Right.
And like, as they get older, like understand that we're humans and like, we're going to make some mistakes in this parenting thing. We definitely apologize like regularly, you know, like even when we get upset and yell, you know, I'm sorry that I raised my voice, but
like, hey, that was my bad. That I was heated. That wasn't your fault.
Exactly. Respond to that so well now. Like, you apologize to me, and it's like, yeah, because I didn't mean to yell at you. Like, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry.
Right.
But this is why Daddy was upset. Do you understand why Daddy was upset? And they're like, yeah, I can see why Daddy's upset. And now they don't touch stuff, or they don't do stuff that I don't like because they don't want to upset me the same way I don't upset them.
Right.
And that makes sense to them. And like, I don't understand why parents feel like you can't explain yourself to a child, because if you do, then they'll never feel like they have to explain themselves to anyone that's down, not on their level, because that's what you tell a child when you say, I'm not explaining nothing to you. Well, why can't I have this?
Exactly.
Just because it's too late.
I just had something like this with the girls earlier tonight. I'm teaching them how to wash dishes properly. So I let them run it through it the first time on their own. Let them come get me when they think they're done. And I explained to them, when I come back, I'm going to inspect what I expect, right? I'm going to look at each one of these dishes. If they're good, you're good. And if they're not, you got to redo them. And this is why. They look like crap. They still have stuff on them. You have, like, if they respond so well, if you just break down what's going on, because then to them, it's like, oh, there's a reason I'm not doing this because he just wants to be a jerk and make me rewash them.
Right.
But now let me ask you this, because this brings up a question to me. How do y'all handle punishments? Because with me and my girls, I'm one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna give you 3 or 4 chances to correct yourself, and then we're gonna do something stupid until you want to correct the issue. Like I'm a big fan of wall sits. Big fan of wall sits. Yep.
I used to hate them.
Yeah, that's what my girls. I say anything about wall sits, and my girls immediately go, "Crap." It's the funniest thing. Like I have to not laugh as a dad, like looking at these kids and be like, "You can either go finish cleaning your room, or we can sit on the wall until you want to go finish cleaning your room."
Yeah.
Because like when I was a kid, I just got whooped for everything.
Right.
Nobody explained nothing to me. My mom wasn't that type of person.
For our kids, like they don't like disappointing us. So the second that you like yell at them or you're upset or you're angry and that mood change, like they're upset and they visibly don't like it because like they have to go in the room and it's like you're gonna sit in the room in timeout.
Yeah, we do. We're timeout parents.
Yeah,
and I'm glad like Rich isn't here because Rich would be like, "Nah, I spank my kids," but like, no, we're definitely.
I mean, you do what you want.
Yeah, I'm the happy medium.
Yeah.
Happy medium. They're gonna
the workout parent.
I'm not gonna lay
10
hands.
jumping jacks.
Yeah.
Right.
My other favorite one is, "Hey, go run that way." Oh, I'm bored. Go run that way.
Have them work out, but don't give them this fear that like anytime something goes wrong and a grown adult is going to put their hands on them.
Oh,
right. Because realistically speaking, if I'm mad in real life and I hit someone, that's assault. So as a parent, if I'm mad and I hit you, I'm training you that every time I get mad or you get mad, you can hit someone. Like that's not good training for real life.
Aggressive kids. Like that's why kids who usually get beat are the ones who usually go fighting because you're taught that aggression from somewhere. Aggression leads from aggression.
I was the king of getting ass whooping when I was younger. Like my grandma, I used to call her first name all the time to fuck with her. Aspen Central. Like I got whoopings, I got punched in the chest, all this shit, man. Yeah, I remember this shit. I mean, rest her soul, but I was just a badass child. But
I wouldn't say that you were bad. I think you did not have.
I acted out.
I feel that children need stability. They need rules. They need structure, and they need someone to teach them how to fucking be an adult, like how to like function in the world. So I wouldn't say that you were bad. You were misunderstood, and you didn't have that. You didn't have that type of stability. So why would you know how to respect someone if no one's taught you to respect someone?
Like getting whoopings as I was younger. Me personally, I can never hit my child if I have them because, as you said, if I lay hands on them, what's to say when they get older? If they think, okay, well, my spouse hits me, my dad hit me, so it's okay.
Exactly.
And I don't want that. I want them to be like, hey, like, dad's upset with you, put you in timeout, but you can also come to him and talk to him if something's wrong with you. Not, oh, well, if I go to dad and tell my this thing bad, he may hit me. Like, I don't ever want them to feel like that.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I think us raising our voice every time is like enough for them. And then
if I make a face,
they do timeouts based off of their age. So 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes, take electronics, have a conversation.
And usually that's enough to set you down for a nap. Because if you're doing some dumb shit to like get in the
you're probably tired. like you probably need to reset your day.
Hey man, you cranky? You need a nap?
Exactly.
Hey big dog, you need 3 minutes.
Some real
Just go
dumb
chill out real quick.
Doing some real dumb shit. So I'm gonna pull up.
Lay down.
Right.
To bed.
Honestly, that's what I used to say to Jamal. Like, so Jamal, prior to us like being married, or prior to us being together, he was a runner, right? Like some shit goes wrong, red flag, he's out. Every relationship, all the time. So like we get into an argument, he's like, I'm done with this. I was like, I think you should take a nap. And then let's talk about this when 3 years strong of being married.
One time I tried to walk past her and leave out of her house and she said, You're going to go lay down and take a nap.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. You're not breaking up with me. You're not leaving out of this door. Yeah. And I'm like,
you're not yourself when you're tired.
But honestly,
you needed a babysitter and a Snickers.
But honestly, those naps like help you think. Like, damn, like I really am being.
Yeah, it breaks you down.
Right,
like if you wake up from a nap and you're still pissed, then okay, it's probably a very valid emotion.
She makes
you ever wake up from a nap?
Starts to wake up, man.
You ever wake up from a nap? It's like 2 hours later, and you're like, man, I was really being an asshole. I should.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. My argument too.
Right. So to speak to Michelle's question, Michelle asked, "What are y'all thoughts on absentee parents versus inconsistent parents?" So to me. Right. And this is coming from someone who did not have an absentee parent. So I'm sure someone who has an absentee parent may think differently. But I think inconsistent parenting is worse. I think hoping that your parent is coming this weekend or, maybe they'll come, maybe they won't. Maybe you'll get a call on your birthday. Maybe you won't. Like that fucks with your emotions more than I don't know that man or I don't know that woman at all. And like I want to know them because it's a part of who I am, right?
Hey, I didn't know this was Animorphs.
I feel like yo-yo like playing with your emotions is worse than just not being there.
Yeah, don't string me along.
Yeah,
I just to speak on that 100%. I'd rather you not be in my life as a parent than I saw my mom or my dad yesterday. You're supposed to be here today. Like, you pick and choose. I don't like that. Because I feel like more mentally you'll be fucked up versus, I know he's never going to be here forever. So, I'd rather you just not be in my life at all.
Right. And I mean, I feel that because, like, when I met my dad when I met Brittany, essentially. Like, we met him together. Like, I had come into contact with him when I was, like, 18. And we had danced around the idea of like when we could meet up, what was going to happen. I joined the military, so then like shit got real dicey for a while. So I got out, and when I first started talking to him, it was like 2009. By the time I finally got around to meeting him, it was already like 2015, 16.
We met in 2018.
So yeah, when I met him, it was 9 years later. Like after I first had talked to him. But I made my Facebook just so I could talk to my dad. Not a lot of people know that.
And I
don't think anybody know that, but now y'all do. So
owes himself.
I'm gonna make it into a reel.
Yeah. So essentially,
everyone will know.
We had came to the point where we finally got the chance to meet up, and like I had to get over my feelings of how I felt. Like, you weren't here. I was so mad. Like for so many years, like I was so angry. And I told myself, when I meet this dude, I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm gonna knock him out. Like I'm gonna break his teeth. Like all this. And I'm like, why am I so angry if he wasn't here? Like if he wasn't here, would I be the same person? Mm-hmm. So I finally get around to meeting him. Everything's cool. We kicking it. Some time go by. And then he finally gets around to meeting the kids. And I tell him like, listen, like I appreciate you coming by. But if you're going to be here for them because you can't take back the time that like we lost. So like you can't take that back. I can't take that back. If we're going to move forward and you want to be here for them in a way that you couldn't be here for me. And to this day, OG be there.
Yeah.
Like you call him, he there. You ask him for something. If he got it, you got it.
Yeah.
If the kids want something, actually the house that like they moved into, they moved because it had a little swing in the backyard.
For the kids.
They sold them on the
space. It had enough land to build us a house on their land. Like, that's their plan.
And I mean, talk about not knowing if I'm going to get something. Like, I don't know if he listening to this. He better not be, but it's past his bedtime, the old ass nigga. But
Granddad, if you're listening, bring your ass to bed.
I am guaranteed to probably take his house, the money, everything he don't leave my mom. Like, I could probably take half. Like a bad divorce.
I'm done.
And then he dips.
Yeah, I don't, because Snuggles just opened the door. I'm really mad that he learned to open doors. That's annoying.
I'm gonna get the little things on the doorknobs.
He does it with ease now. But yeah, so that was definitely I think a very powerful conversation that they had. outside of Applebee's.
Applebee's were all the greatest conversations.
All the greatest conversations.
The greatest philosophical minds of our generation gather at Waffle House and Applebee's.
Right.
Niggas good. They go down over there.
But to like speak on like, you know, being perfect with parents, you know, even like for me to this day, well not to this day, even like when my mom passed away, I was still so pissed at her. I'm like, how dare you? You know, and like it took me a moment to sit back and think, you know what? In her mind, what was she going through? You know, why was she upset? Why was she doing what she's doing? Like, yeah, I can't fault her for being an alcoholic and drinking because you lost a child. But at the same time too, I would just wish that I got the time spent with her, you know, her growing up with me, you know, being there for me, you know, coming out to her, you know, I wanted to like do these things, but you know, my sister, shout out to her. My sister, she's been my mom pretty much. She's been everything, like every single thing I've been through. My sister's been there for me 100%. Like I came out to my sister when I was 22. You know, I told her I was bisexual, and I was scared. I was like, you know, is she gonna disown me? And the first thing she said is, "I will always love you, no matter what." You know, she said, "You love you, live your truth." The only thing she did say though is she was like, you know, unfortunately nowadays you have to watch out who you tell that to, because there are some people who don't like that. Unfortunately, and the world is fucked up, especially with a black man being bisexual. Some people take that to heart and they're crazy as fuck about it. But yeah, she has been my rock. Like she's been there for everything. Like we talk every single day. Like I'll text her and everything. I can truthfully say, if it was not for her, I would not be on this earth right now. And that's just pure fact.
Yeah, I feel that. So, Tad, did you have anything you wanted to add?
See, I kind of got to experience both because, like, my dad wasn't around, and then when I lived with who essentially were my godparents, my mom was very inconsistent about coming to visit my brother and I. So I would much rather just have the absentee parent, honestly, because it's like, at least I don't have to waste my brain space on worrying about if this person's gonna show up. I can just be like, oh cool, they're not here. That's every day for the last all of them.
Right. I was going to ask a question and it went away. So I kind of love when that happens.
It happens all the time.
All the time. It's so sad. So I guess I will ask, so one of the hot topic points that we've talked about on podcasts recently and in general is the importance of essentially money. So would you prefer for the parent that was not in your household to have been there, or is money in absence of their presence enough? Does that question make sense? Did it come out right?
So it makes sense.
Well, so let me frame it this way.
No, I understand. I understand your question.
Yeah,
I understand. So hang on, let me see if I can reframe it. So you're asking if the money is enough to replace the parent that wasn't there,
right?
i.e., child support, etc.
Right.
No, absolutely not. Because like we were already Section 8 housing, struggling for, everything. We didn't have shit else. So whatever money that he did send, which was never much, like he missed, I think, 15 years of child support. So, and even if we had gotten it, it was $168 a month. That's not enough to put, a father figure in my life. That's not enough to keep me and my brother from fighting, or to help us through the times in our lives that, we need a male role model in our lives. You know what I mean? And he's not my brother's dad, but still somebody in the house to be that male figure is way greater than whatever meager amount of money they're going to pass off as child support. You know what I mean? So, no, I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, the love, affection, and support means more than the money. The money can be enough for certain people. And then he said, I'll take the broke, loving parent over the rich, non-existent one. But go ahead, Jay. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're fine. I guess for me it depends. Like if the parent is going to be if the parent was there in the beginning, I'd rather them just be there. They try to be there for me, and fuck the money. But if you weren't there at all, never seen you, never heard of you, I'll take the money, because at least with the money I can better myself, set myself up for success, save that for the future. So if I have kids, give that money to them, let them grow their wealth. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and if we're talking about wealth building money, but to Ty's comment, child support usually isn't wealth building money.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely not.
I don't make it to like $20 a month, but
right.
So
I mean, in Monica's case, she was bad with money, so like having more money wouldn't have helped. So like having the money from an absent parent wouldn't be like, oh yeah, we got it. It'd still be you blow it on stupid shit. Wait for you, so you can go get a man that don't want you. You blew it at Atlantic City gambling when you didn't need to. You blew it on drugs and alcohol when you claim I don't do drugs. And it's like, come on, bro. Something's got to give. Like, you got to do better for yourself because you're not doing it for us. So, like, giving someone who's bad with money and doesn't have financial literacy, like, money, it ain't going to help them. And, like, giving her the cash would have just hurt us more because we probably would have never seen her.
Yeah.
So, in my case, it depends, but that's only because I didn't have that loving parent. I had a parent who always wanted money for herself and for her selfish needs so she could show off with what she had versus what we needed.
Yeah, so Charles said some people will resent you for sending money and choosing to stay away. It's a reminder that you exist and you chose not to be in my life. So I don't want your money or your pity.
Yeah, you come from a real place of pride, my brother. And I ain't got that same kind of pride when I'm broke.
So actually, that makes me ask a question, or that makes me think of a question, right? So what if, like, what about the absentee parents, right, that know they're not right to be in a child's life? Say they're a drug addict or they've got other issues that are going to cause problems for their kids' lives. So they choose to stay away, but they try to still send that sort of type of support.
Now that I respect, because like, I'd rather the parent not bring the drugs or the alcohol into the child's life. Like, first off, fix yourself, get help, get therapy, get treatment first. Then come on, life. But if you know deep and down you're never going to get treatment, you're just always going to be this, don't come on, life. I don't want that around me. At that point,
we talk about drugs. We don't mean weed, because
weed
not that bad. No. You smoke a little weed at night when your kids sleep.
First of all, I was saying I need that to parent. That won't keep me from parenting.
I'm not telling you go blow the weed smoke in your kid's face, but if you smoke a little weed at night, we at the podcast will not judge you. But if you do anything harder than weed, then it's like,
legally, I cannot say that I will join them. I would never do these things.
Okay.
My job don't background test me. I'm joining it.
Legal purposes.
Right.
I just don't smoke anymore. Well, because the last time I smoked, off topic, but I smoked too much. I got stuck. And I felt like I was like not dying, but I didn't exist. And
so we passed
that feeling. Huh?
Pass you the blue and the blur con?
Listen, I'll do it, but if I get stuck, Brittany, you can be my babysitter.
I got you.
Don't worry. If you get stuck,
if he gets stuck, I'm gonna get stuck because I'm gonna sit down with him.
Blur con is
the only thing I will say is just keep telling me to sit down and drink water.
We got you.
So,
Right, you're in good hands.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 20 of us.
Yeah, literally.
We
At
gang
least.
out there, bit.
Minimally. Ty, did we answer your question?
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
was a sufficient answer.
That's why I wanted to make
So,
sure.
you have another
'Cause then
question?
we went,
I thought
no.
asked.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure. I was circling around. My mind is clearly not focused today.
Only 19, but her mind is older. Sorry,
Okay, R. Kelly.
Hamilton when like
But yes. So do you guys believe that a single parent home can produce a well-functioning member of society in the same capacity as a two-parent household?
yes.
Can it? Yes.
it has to come from the right.
Does it normally? Different question.
Right.
Usually.
Statistically.
Statistically, yikes.
Yeah, I think for me, and I said this recently on podcast, I was not meant to be a single parent. I can't. Like, I respect single parents, but personally, I don't think I would be able to.
She gets overwhelmed by anything more than one kid.
Nah, seriously. Dead ass. I get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed by anything more than like 3 choices to like eat. Like I get really overwhelmed.
Real narrow menu.
And I shut down.
Any RPG ever.
I know. It's terrible. I get overwhelmed trying to find something on Netflix to watch. Like it's
I can't handle the remote.
I'm like, I need cable because I just need to know what's already programmed to be on right now, because trying to find something is too much, and we sit here in silence often.
Until I find the remote again.
But I say all of that to say that I think that a single parent household, I think that a single parent is capable. However, I think that in those circumstances, it takes a strong foundation too, and family and friends and people who can help, because like something people don't ever talk about is, well, I'm not going to say they don't ever talk about, but like motherhood and parenthood is glamorized in a lot of cases, and it's not fucking easy in any way, shape, or form. And from a mental health perspective, without some sort of break or help or assistance, you're going to be pouring from an empty cup. And yeah, like you're supposed to be able to work 40 hours and be a full-time parent and do this and do that. And, you know, while some women and men are capable of doing that, it's not an easy feat. And I think it does help for raising a well-rounded child to have the, you know, just a solid like parenting team, right? Like when I need a nap, Jamal's like, go shut down when you need to, and I'll step up. It helps. I can say it helps. I'm not going to say I mean, it's an advantage. You have an advantage. And children in parent households have an advantage.
You tag in and tag out sometimes, and like that tag out be real helpful. Like if you've never had to take a nap, if you've never had to walk out on your child for like 5 minutes before you punch them in the face, if you've never had to like seriously just take a moment to yourself to just be like, yo, like I'm about to snap. And like
or even be the other parent that's like, oh yo, hey, you need to
need a moment. Like
I see what's happening here.
Yeah, like hey, we're gonna diffuse this situation. Yep.
There's some Jack Daniels in the refrigerator.
Yep. Hey, you also in a timeout. I got the little timeout.
29 minutes. Go. 30 minutes. Whatever. Like, just go sit down. Watch anime. Like, I've heard it. Like, but yeah. I mean, sometimes a one parent house can produce a great child. Like, you can be like, I came from a strong Black single mom, because that does happen. Like, you do have the moms that, shout out to them, and the dads that shout out to them too. Hold it down. There is one guy I know named Max Bigavelli.
Mm-hmm.
Bro got like 7 kids up in Canada. Like
he's trying to compete
with Pokemon
with Nick Cannon.
I don't know, but he needs some love.
Can't pull out of his driveway either. Goddamn.
He need condoms, like, but bro's out here doing it. 7 kids in him.
They got tired, tread thick condoms.
Oh my god.
Hey, he needs some moose skin joints, dog. Like he needs something.
Wow.
Hey yo, saran wrap. Get the saran wrap.
That reminds me of that one singer too. That gospel singer. She has like 12 kids now.
Oh, Kiki.
Yeah.
What
they say about the crazy giants?
Yo, how many does Stevie Wonder got? Like 12 motherfuckers, right?
So who?
Doesn't Stevie Wonder have like 12 kids?
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder
He's
has
got a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder be like, you can't tell me he's blind and he's got 15 kids.
How we wild and they not wild for having all these kids? You're wild one, Charles. Who in there having all that fun? Not me. I ain't got all them kids.
You can't tell me that blind ass man.
Jeez.
Ain't down there.
Shit, I mean, he might be blind, but he ain't missing.
Hey, that boy ain't missing no shots. Pew, pew, pew. They all hit. They don't even need to know what they look like. He's throwing hands.
Out here hitting
nice, girl.
and whatnot.
Pretty.
No look 3.
I know that Jay Anthony kind of spoke on this a bit, but I think my last question would be: can you see yourself forgiving the parent that was, or forgiving your parent for being absent in your life, and what does forgiveness look like for you?
I forgive my mom because, I hope she's resting in peace, she's resting. I feel like what she did, she can't take back. Obviously she can't. And if I allow myself to be hurt and to be pissed at her, I feel like I wouldn't want to keep that hurt and have kids. Because I wouldn't want them to like, okay, well, dad's upset, blah, blah, blah. I forgive her. I still love her to death. I wish she was here. I took therapy and I sat down and said, understand, like, hey, this is why she probably did it for. Can I ask her? No, I can't ask her. But at the same time is, I gotta move on. I'm gonna be 30 next year. I want to live my life. I want to do better.
I'm saying 30, like 30 is old, my brother.
No, I know. So 30 is a big milestone for me because, like I said, I never thought I would see 30. Because of depression, stuff like that. Like when I tell you depression, I gained a shit ton of weight, my nigga. Like I wasn't skinny, but like I was thick, man. But depression over the years, I'm a feeling eater. I get my feelings, and so now I'm on a journey off topic. Like right now I'm losing weight. I'm going to the gym, stuff like that. It helps as well, obviously. But now I can let the hurt go and do better for myself and say, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, this is it. Start over and just do better. So to answer your question, yes, I can forgive them.
Yeah.
True. So in the after show, I'm gonna ask you what we doing for your 30th birthday. But for me, I don't know. I mean, for what she did to me as a child, I can forgive Monica. Like I can forgive you for growing as I was growing. Parents have only had the opportunity to parent for like the last 80 or 90 so years.
Black parents.
Like it's hard to understand this, but like they weren't given the opportunity. They were told that you were less than. They had their babies stripped from them. They had their babies taken. Like they were watching babies die, and then they were told to take care of other people's babies. Like they were wet nurses. They were these other things, and they weren't told how to parent. So not given that opportunity and giving them that grace, I can forgive her and say, you know what? Your mom was very young when she had you. Your mom was 13 when she had you. You had my oldest brother at 18. Come to find out you got pregnant at 16, 17, and then your parents made you abort it. Then you wind up having 5. You had me, Then you had twins. You lost a twin, and then you lost two other. Then you had two other kids. She went through a lot of shit, and I can understand you going through a lot and not knowing who you are. But I can't understand you as an adult not seeking help. I can't understand and forgive you for not doing better for yourself and expecting better out of me. You expected the world and wanted the world from me and wanted me to take care of you, but you didn't want to take care of yourself. And I can't forgive you for that.
That's deep.
See,
Ty.
I'm also in that. I don't think I'll be able to forgive because I've tried several times to extend that olive branch with my mother, at least, and every time it turns out the same way. She doesn't change. She doesn't show that there's any capacity for growth, and it's just bit me way too many times where it's like I don't feel any need to continue to give you any more chances. I know how it's gonna turn out, so I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna do better for me and my kids. You stay right over there and do you. And I genuinely mean where I'm at the point with her where I don't care if she lives in the same city as me or she moves 1,500 miles away. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. And I also think, forgiveness in general has a very Christian-based kind of meaning to it. I think that you cutting ties and knowing that you have enough and for your mental health and for your emotional health and for your children's sake, that relationship can't continue. So, sometimes forgiveness is knowing that and knowing when enough is enough and caring more about yourself than anything else. Yeah. Sometimes being selfish is what you need to be.
Yeah.
Especially when the other person, like Jamal said, isn't doing the work. If you're not going to put in the work to work on yourself and to recognize where you went wrong in these situations, I'm not here to parent you. Right. I have my own responsibilities at this point. So, I think for me, I'm not gonna say I've never held animosity against my father. I definitely have. I've sat across the table from him and said, "I fucking hate you. I think you're selfish." So I have had animosity, but in my adult years, and just in attempts, he's had some health issues. He's had a stroke, and right after that, I tried to be more communicative. I think honestly, the reason why my relationship with my dad is where it is because of Jamal. He wants a son, and he had a snippet of that with my sister, and now he has that with him, and they're fucking thick as thieves. And I'm still there was one year last year for Christmas, and I know he's not listening to this. Last year for Christmas, he sent me very ugly pajamas. They were flannel. It was I'm over here who the fuck bought? There was no name. I was who bought me this? And Jamal got a full ass toolbox, a nice ass tool set.
Yeah, where's the issue here? I'm not hearing any issue.
He got a stand mixer.
Table set mixer. The nice one too, Ty. It's real nice. Yeah. You want to know what he got me this year for Christmas?
What he got you?
A check for $200.
So my dad usually sends me money. But this time he sent a check for me and a check for Jamal. And I'm when did you start getting on check status? So I think for me, forgiveness looks like,
$200
check.
Because homeboy don't be playing about it. You seen that money.
And Jamal was thank you.
Hey, my happiness can't be bought, but we can still negotiate a price.
He was yo, y'all want to come to Michigan for Danielle's wedding, her sister's wedding? We were yeah. He was his $3,000 for the trip.
Yeah, he sent us $3,000.
Pops, I'm on my way. Let me get my suit ready.
All has been forgiven. We cool.
Forgiveness for me just looks like, creating that relationship, creating that friendship, trying to, I'll never be able to recreate what I had with my mother, with my father. I can't. But I can make the attempts to be in communicate. Honestly, it's really just about talking to him. I don't like maybe once a month.
He's got real dry Midwestern sense of humor in the conversation.
Yeah, my dad's the type of person who's like, Britt.
That's why you lit up, because you know what that's like.
Britt, it's your dad. I know who you are. I'm aware. It's saved in my phone.
Gotcha.
Like, Britt, it's your dad. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Does he sign his Facebook messages?
He's like,
Yo.
I'm sure he would.
That's green.
Hey, Britt, you look good. It's your dad.
It's your dad. Exactly.
No, damn well, I can see everything.
Exactly.
I'm at Waffle House.
But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think the most important takeaway from this, and I think from in general, and it's not everyone's situation, because some people, there's abuse. We didn't even talk about it's situations where there's abuse, and so a parent has to leave. Which is kind of similar to my situation with Julian. That relationship was abusive. I'm not from this area, so I left. And as opposed to bringing my child to couch surf with me, I left him with his father, because while he was abusive to me, it's not like he was beating on our child. Do you know what I mean? So it was one of those things where it's like, as opposed to disturbing his world, I'll let him have his bedroom in this apartment while I figure everything out. And in the eyes of the court, that is abandoning your child. That is what I was told. So yeah. So there's situations where there's abuse and like you said, drugs, but I think viewing our parents as, in a lot of cases, children raising children, or, people. They're just people. Like the shit we're going through. Like I thought when I hit 30, I'd have my shit together. My shit is not together. It's not together in any way, shape, or form. You're an adult. And
I thought
my 28th birthday is in like 2 months.
Yeah, let me tell you, nothing changes.
Reality check.
You're still out here faking it till you make it.
I thought you're like 25.
Me?
This whole time. So Brady's like 25 this whole time.
25? No, I'm 33.
Yeah, people think she's
the grandma.
And I'm the oldest.
Abuelita.
Well, I'm not the oldest. She's a year older than me, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah.
To get her out of the club, the knees didn't work the same no more. Some things we're not thinking no more.
You got to bring the WD-40 with you.
Right.
Speaking of birthdays,
we about to go in? All right, we're good.
Also, my birthday is 4/20. So,
is it?
Yeah, it is.
So your birthday is 6 days before his birthday.
Yeah. So what we doing?
We'll talk later. Let me wrap up.
Yeah, wrap this up. We'll talk offline.
But I do want to say I gotta go. I got to my friend's work.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
We appreciate you for coming and telling your story.
Absolutely.
I appreciate everyone. Everyone has a blessed night. I will hop back on when I get back, and I will message you guys separately.
Okay.
Ty, it was nice meeting you. You have a blessed one as well.
Absolutely.
Have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
For telling your truth. Well, on that note,
right, it's just us now.
I will wrap things up by saying Shay and I just announced our new segment for Patreon.
What?
So
where's Rich with the drop?
Yeah,
Rich, when you need
Rich
it.
needs he's gonna boo and
soundboard guy. We get him the soundboard reluctantly, and now he's not here to soundboard annoying.
He's never here to soundboard.
He don't want a soundboard when he got a soundboard.
Exactly.
That's it. I vote I get the soundboard.
So Shay and I are doing Keeping It Real with Britt and Shay. So we'll be doing movie and TV show reviews from Netflix, Hulu, HBO, whatever's out, whatever y'all want to hear about, we will be watching, doing reviews on. It should be super exciting. We're starting with the new season of You. So that starts on February 9th. We'll be putting out episodes every week on Patreon on Thursday, though, so that you guys can see what's going on. We'll be doing our pilot episode Thursday night between 7:30 and 8, somewhere in there. Just, pop up. We'll go live. You'll see us. But yeah, so we'll be doing our pilot episode to kind of introduce that, much like the gentleman of the podcast did Anime Court Live for you guys to get into. And, now it's going to be behind a paywall. So
yeah,
I will put the link tree in our description so you guys can become Patreon members.
Well, since she mentioned in the paywall, you want to go ahead and tell her, Ty, how I'm putting your ass back on trial? Since you want to be a biased judge, now you
biased judge. No. So
here's
the thing, right?
Now
you all hated what my verdict was, even though my verdict is the God's-given truth. This man doesn't want to accept it. So please, next time we go live, it's me and him. We're gonna sit there. We're gonna settle this. It's sub.
Oh, I see you tomorrow, my brother. What you got doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'll smoke you tomorrow. I'll smoke you next week. When do you want the smoke?
I want it tomorrow.
All right. Well, I guess we're doing it tomorrow then. Be there.
Listen
to this man go all the way down.
I can't take this biased ass judge no more.
You hear this? This is blasphemy. It's slander. I don't appreciate it.
I've had enough. One episode. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the first day of Black History Month, so
So we getting our Black.
And I got to commit a murder of a black man on the first day of Black History Month. That's crazy.
Hey, man. It's gonna be you, and it's gonna be with Robert next because I ain't seen Black History yet.
I am dead. Anyways, please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe on all of major social media platforms. We are on YouTube, obviously. We are on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So like, follow, and subscribe everywhere. Next week, Saturday, obviously we have Shit Talk Saturday. Next week is marriage. We're talking about marriage on Tuesday. So we'll be talking about kind of just the ins and outs of marriage. Is it worth it? Is marriage worth it in 2023?
We're gonna get spicy with it. Ty, you gonna be there?
Oh, I might just be.
Your wife though.
What's that?
Are you inviting your wife though? She gonna pull up next to you?
We'll talk after the show.
We will get real spicy with Ty after the show. We'll be back with details.
But until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay unapologetically Black. Have a good night.